Be Me, professional freelance photographer, specializing in high-end events and luxury weddings. My specialty is discretion, capturing the fleeting and delivering perfection. More importantly, my real skill is a meticulous paper trail and an ironclad contract. Be Not Me, Alois Thorne, heiress to a vaguely defined but undeniably vast media conglomerate. 28 years old, impossibly beautiful, and possessed of a self-certainty that bordered on the geological. Her wedding was destined to be the event of the season, and she was determined to micromanage every single atom of it. Our first interaction set the tone. She hired me for her engagement announcement shoot at her family's estate, a sprawling property nestled in the hills overlooking the ocean. The light was perfection during the golden hour, soft and warm, exactly what she had initially requested. Then, at 4:30 p.m., 30 minutes before we were scheduled to start, Alois descended the grand staircase, phone pressed to her ear. She declared the golden hour light is too common, too predictable. She wanted a harsh, dramatic, high-contrast look. Immediately, I explained that the sun was already dipping. Achieving that look would require massive, complicated artificial lighting setups, which were not on the initial brief and would take hours to arrange. Her response was a dismissive wave of her hand. "Figure it out. I'm paying you enough." My assistant looked at me, bewildered. I just nodded slowly, a slight tilt to my head. We did what we could, scrambling. The photos were not bad, but they were certainly not what she originally signed up for, nor were they ideal given the time frame. Every email confirming the original brief, every text message detailing her last-minute change, was saved. A quiet voice in my head noted, pattern established. Next came the wedding planning for the main event itself, scheduled for late spring at the historic Grandview Conservatory. Alois had a vision for her ceremony backdrop, a cloud bloom arch. This wasn't just any arch. It was to be a vast, multi-tiered structure, 20 feet wide and 12 feet tall, seemingly floating, entirely covered in delicate, live white orchids and interspersed with small, reflective glass panels. The venue's event manager, a seasoned professional named Marcus, immediately raised concerns. The conservatory's outdoor ceremony space, while stunning, was known for unexpected gusts of wind, especially in the late spring. He suggested a more robust, less top-heavy design, or at least a wider, weighted base. Alois scoffed. "Marcus, darling, it's called cloud bloom for a reason. It's meant to be ethereal. A wide base ruins the illusion." She insisted on slender, almost invisible supports. The event designer, an artist named Sophia, reluctantly echoed Marcus's warnings, showing her diagrams of how structural integrity would be compromised. "Absolutely not," Alois declared, tapping a long, perfectly manicured finger on Sophia's diagram. "The elegance is in its delicacy. Make it happen, or I'll find someone who understands art." I was there, taking notes, observing the tension. I discreetly photographed the design diagrams Sophia presented, highlighting the structural warnings. The floral company's lead artist, a woman with decades of experience, almost walked out. She explained the sheer weight of the live orchids, the precariousness of the glass panels, and how the entire structure would become a sail in any significant breeze. She presented a contingency plan for a more grounded design. Alois, however, was immovable. "It has to be exactly as I envisioned. No compromises. If you can't deliver, I'll take my business elsewhere. And don't bother me with structural nonsense. That's your job to solve, not mine to worry about." She even threatened to withhold final payment from the florist and the designer if they didn't comply exactly with her aesthetic demands, overriding all professional advice. I sat there, calm and outwardly attentive, documenting everything. Every email from Alois dismissing concerns, every text message threatening non-payment, every verbal instruction overriding professional safety advice. My internal ledger grew longer, meticulously balanced. Then came the breaking point, about 3 weeks before the wedding. I had delivered the proofs for Alois's pre-wedding photo album, a separate package from the engagement shoot, focusing on intimate shots of her gown and accessories. The photos were stunning, exactly what she had signed off on in the mood board and during the shoot itself. She called me. Her voice, usually a practiced calm, was sharp with indignation. "I've decided I hate them. They don't capture my essence anymore. I want a full refund." I remained polite. "Eloise, the contract you signed clearly states that once proofs are approved and the final album delivered, refunds are not applicable. You approved these last month, and the album was delivered a week ago." Her voice went glacial. "Listen very carefully. You will process that refund for me, 100%, or I will ensure that your business, your pathetic little freelance operation, never sees another high-end client again. I have a vast network. I'll flood every review site, every social media platform with accounts of your unprofessionalism and shoddy work. Your reputation will be in tatters." A long silence stretched. My pulse didn't quicken. My mind, however, shifted gears. This wasn't about a refund anymore. This was a direct, unwarranted assault on my livelihood, leveraging her power and influence. And it intertwined directly with her insistence on the perilous Cloud Bloom Arch. "And," she continued, her voice dripping with malice, "you will ensure that the arch is built exactly as I want it. No more whispers of safety concerns from anyone. If there's any deviation, any visible reinforcement, consider our contract terminated and your business ruined." "Understood," I said, my voice even. A deep, dangerous calm settled over me. "I'll ensure the arch is built precisely to your vision, and I'll review your refund request." I had no intention of refunding her, but the game had changed. My strategy shifted from polite professional pushback to meticulous, systematic documentation. Read-only mode engaged. I ceased all arguments. From that moment on, every interaction with Eloise was about confirmation, not debate. I started with a new folder on my encrypted drive. Project Cloud Bloom. Every email from Eloise dictating the arch's construction, specifically overriding safety advice, was moved there. Every text message about her specific aesthetic demands for minimal supports. Even after being explicitly warned by the event planner, the florist, and the venue's own structural consultant, was screenshot, time-stamped, and filed. I made sure every meeting concerning the arch's construction was followed up with an email to Eloise, summarizing the discussion. "To confirm, as discussed in our meeting today at 10 a.m., you explicitly instructed that the 2-inch steel rods be replaced with the 1-inch aluminum, despite florist's name's warning regarding load-bearing capacity and venues, Rep Name's reiteration of the outdoor wind risks. You stated the aesthetic impact of thicker rods is unacceptable. Please confirm." And she always did, enthusiastically. I cross-referenced the venue's liability waiver, noting clauses about client-directed modifications overriding safety protocols. I reread my own contract, specifically the clauses on client-directed changes and the unsuitability of materials chosen by the client against professional advice. My role was photographer, not structural engineer, but my photographic evidence would be damning. I discreetly reached out to Marcus at the venue, Sophia the event designer, and even the florist, just ensuring we're all aligned on the client's final decisions regarding the arch. I'd say, subtly reinforcing that they too had documented their warnings. We were building a fortress of paper and pixels, brick by meticulous brick, around Eloise's unreasonable demands. I even took photos during the construction phase, capturing the dangerously thin supports being installed exactly as she had mandated. The weather forecast for the wedding day was a mild concern, partly cloudy with occasional gusts, up to 20 miles per hour in exposed areas. The outdoor ceremony space at the Grandview Conservatory was, by definition, an exposed area. Eloise, of course, dismissed it as a little breeze. The ceremony began. The Cloud Bloom Arch stood, resplendent and terrifyingly delicate, laden with thousands of orchids, shimmering with glass panels. It looked exactly as Eloise had envisioned, impossibly graceful, impossibly fragile. The guests murmured with admiration, unaware of the precariousness. As the groom began his vows, a sudden, sharp gust whipped through the conservatory garden. The arch swayed violently. A collective gasp rose from the guests. Another, stronger gust. A critical, slender support snapped with a sharp crack. The entire structure began to topple, slowly at first, then gaining momentum. Oranges and purples of 100 expensive orchids showered down. Glass panels shattered against the paving stones. The massive arch collapsed with a sickening crash, missing the terrified couple by mere feet, sending a wave of chaos through the ceremony. Alois screamed, not a scream of fear, but of pure, incandescent rage. "My arch, what have you done?" She rounded on Marcus, then Sophia, then me. "You incompetents, my wedding is ruined. This is your fault." My mind was a steel trap. "Actually, Alois," I said, my voice cutting through the rising panic, calm and clear. "It's not, and I have the documentation to prove it." I pulled out my phone, quickly navigating to a prepared folder. On April 12th, at 3:17 p.m., Marcus from the venue emailed you, explicitly warning about wind shear in this location and recommending a wider base. Your reply at 3:20 p.m. stated, and I quote, "The aesthetic is paramount. Wind is just air." I didn't stop. On April 15th, during our design meeting, Sophia presented a diagram showing the stress points on the delicate supports you insisted on. My recording of that meeting, time-stamped 11:04 a.m., clearly captures you stating, "I don't care about your engineering. Make it look beautiful." You then threatened to terminate her contract if she deviated. Then came the kicker. And regarding my shoddy work claims and the full refund you demanded for the pre-wedding album. I have your email, dated April 20th at 9:02 p.m., where you threatened to ruin my business if I didn't comply and ensure the arch was built exactly to your specifications, regardless of safety warnings. Here are the screenshots of those demands, all time-stamped. I showed her the phone screen, the dates and times glaringly evident. The silence that followed was deafening, broken only by the whimpering of a few guests and the crackling of shattered glass underfoot. Marcus, the venue manager, stepped forward, his face grim. "Alois, you overrode every safety protocol we recommended. Every single one. This is on you. And the damage to our historic paving and rare plant beds. We will be pursuing that aggressively." Her parents, pale and mortified, finally intervened, pulling Alois away as she sputtered incoherent denials. The wedding, needless to say, was called off. The Cloud Bloom Arch became an instant, infamous legend among the city's high society circles. Update: 1 week later. The fallout has been spectacular. The venue's lawyers immediately served Alois's family with a demand for damages to the historic grounds and the cost of the destroyed floral installation. My contract, thankfully, was completely ironclad. Her threats of a smear campaign evaporated in the face of my irrefutable, time-stamped evidence. I even provided copies of her malicious emails to the venue, bolstering their case. Her refund demand for the pre-wedding album? Ignored. Update 1 month later. The engagement is officially off. The groom, a quiet but decent man, apparently couldn't stomach the public humiliation and Alois's attempts to deflect all blame. He found my compiled evidence incredibly enlightening. The Thorne family has settled with the venue for an undisclosed, but reportedly enormous, sum to avoid further legal proceedings and media attention. Alois's own social media, once a curated stream of perfection, has been deluged with memes of falling flowers and shattered dreams. Update: 3 months later. Alois Thorne is effectively blacklisted by every reputable high-end event vendor in the region. Her reputation is in tatters, a cautionary tale whispered at every gala. My business, however, has never been better. Word of my meticulous documentation and calm handling of the Cloud Bloom disaster has spread. Clients now specifically request my paper trail guarantee. It turns out, sometimes, the best way to win is to let the villain craft their own perfectly constructed, perfectly documented downfall. And then you just stand back and take the picture.